Hello, everybody. My name is Mike, here content manager here at Fieldcode. I'm going to go over the release from last Thursday, 24th of April. All right, so let's jump right in. First thing is parts. I got some love this release. So now, first thing, when you're adding parts, before when you hit the part button, we had this form pop up in the middle. That is no longer the case no more. Now, when you open up the parts tab, it'll work like all other forms. It'll open up on the side with the ticket details component next to it. So you can look at the ticket details while you're filling out your parts information. In addition to that, we now have a new way to access parts with API connection coming from customers. So if customers have an API connection to a parts database, we can connect that to our system. And in order to show you that, I will have to go to our integration environment and show you an example here. So let's take a look at an example. So now when you click the parts thing, and if you have an API connection hooked up to your account, we show this screen where you can either select the API connection, or you can still always select the standard way of adding parts if you want to add a part standardly, or if you're going to use your connection. Don't mind these names, these are just placeholders. But basically how it works, if you have an API connection, we connect to your database of parts, and you click on it, you can choose it. These parameters are set by yourselves and our support team. In this case, parameters are project ID. Product IDs, like I said, it's a placeholder. They would make more sense if you have a real one. And basically what we provide is all the data that's coming from your database. In this case, we have ordered, we have quantity, stock name, ETA, matches device, description, part number, so on and so forth. So it's pretty straightforward. You want to request parts for the ticket. So you simply select, in this case, I only have one. So I'm just going to select this one. Now this is just requesting a part. You may not have all the parts needed, but this is the part you need. So you select this one and you'll go to the next screen to confirm your selection, where you can enter the quantity of parts you need. In this case, there's only one here. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be ordering this one, and it's going to leave a note for however you have it set up for your counterparts to order more parts. You can add an entry ID. The entry ID in this case is the ID that connects this particular part to this particular ticket, so on and so forth. So once you go through that, you can enter whatever you want as entry ID, and then you can add your part from your API connected database. So that is the new way of parts. I'm not going to select anything here. Going back to here. Shipment information. So we have updated the visuals for tracking shipments. Before, if we had a tracking code and a supplier, we had the tracking information on the shipping level. As you can see here now, we have the tracking information showing on the part level. Right now, so we have three different variations. We have a gray. A gray truck just means there's no tracking information. This part was added manually. There's no tracking information, so on and so forth. The black one is a part that actually has a tracking information here. You simply click on it. You open up directly here without having to go through the part into the shipping level to get the tracking information right from the part level. You can access the tracking information right away. If you have a tracking link, it works the same. So before, without this big, I think it was called tracking button, we now have just these convenient, nice little icons. We also have the case when there's no active tracking information. We have a red truck icon, which just means there's invalid tracking data. In this case, it's just a fake tracking code and a fake shipping partner. So it's not real tracking information. So it's saying, hey, something's wrong here. Dispatcher, come look at me and update the tracking information here. All right, next one, partner portal. All right, so if you're familiar with partner portal is a way to send out the report form to external partners that aren't using Fieldcode and then aren't using the FMA app. You can send them the link to a ticket where they can fill out the report form and update any parts information. We've updated that to be a little more easy to use and easy to understand. So now let me go to my ticket here, 461. So here I sent out a I sent out a link to our partner. So let me just share FMA view. So when they click on this link now, before, you could always have to fill out this information. We had this report ticket button. And it was kind of confusing because once you filled this out and you hit that report ticket button, it would go to this gray screen and the partner would have no idea when the report's going to be ready because it just wasn't very nice. So now, as you can see, I can't fill out any information until this ticket is ready, because you see this ticket is on appointment, and the way I have the partner portal only shows up with the report form and the information to fill out when it's pending wait on site. So right away, you see I can't do anything, so the partner's not going to be confused. They can still look at the ticket details. They can look at the device information and parts if there's parts existing. If there are parts existing, they will not show either anymore until it is pending wait on site. So there's no need to fill out the partner information before you can report the ticket. And as we have this new blue bar here, there are no available actions for this ticket at the moment. That means there's no available buttons. There's nothing the partner needs to do at this time. So let's put this ticket in to pending wait on site. We're in the app. So now after a refresh, after a refresh, you see the report button. So you can continue through, fill out the information. And then you can hit the report button. And now rather than going to a whole new page, we open up the report button right over the ticket details. So for whatever reason, the engineer or the partner forgot something, they can go back and look at the information here, go back to report button, and continue their filling out their form. Fits nicely into the mobile device, then go through and fill out the information as they need it. So that is the old way partner portal works, still works, will always work. However, we introduce a new way to do partner portals by introducing it's hard to say, partner portal buttons into workflows. So now I have designed a workflow for partner portal where I have inserted new button types. We have now partner portal buttons in addition to workflow and other buttons. So now in order to get buttons to show up in partner portal, you're going to need to insert them into your workflow by using the partner portal button. So I set up my workflow, a very basic workflow, just to have an accept and reject. And behind the reject, I have a form where it just sends a ticket info that informs the dispatcher that the partner rejected the form. All right, so let's take a look at what that looks like here. We're just going to take a look on the web browser here. So this is my partner portal set up here. So it's tickets and appointment. They can fill out the information. And they can hit accept, which will send a message into the history, because I have the history set up in my workflow, send a message to the history of the ticket saying partner accepted. And if they hit reject, in this case, we'll just use reject. They can say, for whatever reason, I just have it set up as a ticket info. You can set up whatever form behind any buttons you need to for partner portal. In this case, we send a message. And now we can take a look at our ticket here. Which one was it? Is it 454? So now you see here in the history, partner rejected the ticket with the ticket info, and everything you see here now, because every action that came from the partner portal now leaves user partner portal. So it's clear to dispatcher, all these actions were triggered from the partner portal and not from the dispatcher or someone else. So that is nice to know. Same applies when I hit accepted. At this time, I don't have anything funny in my workflow, so I can just keep using this one. So I just want to show you an example here. So if they hit accepted, sends the message here, partner accepted the ticket, so on and so forth. Now, let's see what happens when we go. Now, since we don't, the old way, and since we have partner portal buttons, once I put this to pending wait on site, the ticket will change its button layout in accordance to whatever the workflow is set up. In this case, I just have a report button. This button I created as well. This is a partner portal button as well in the workflow. This is in the workflow. This is not the same report ticket button. In the old way of the partner portal, this is a workflow button, the partner portal. So as before, if there were parts, they'd be showing parts here. You fill out the partner information, you click on report. You can open up the form. You have all your information in the back. If you need to go back, you can look at it. Same as the other way. So the big feature is new way of adding parts, or rather congruently, parts are added similar to other, or opened up similar to other forms, and the partner portal buttons in workflow. All right. Scheduling assistant. Sometimes there's a case that parts aren't ready, or maybe the ETA is old. So in this case here, I have a part. The ETA was the 24th, but I have no end of storage time, so that's good to go. However, in this case, the ETA was the 16th, but I have a storage time until the 24th. So this part effectively is not available anymore. And when the dispatcher is clicking on a ticket, there was no way before to know, why is this throwing an error? And now you might have seen that red box show up here at the top. So now we have a new display message. When there is issues with the storage time and multiple parts, we display this message, hinting the dispatcher to go check out the part information and see what's going on. All right. Making our way back to the admin panel. System connections here. So now systems, before you just created your system in the admin panel, it was just a basic system. It didn't have much rules to it. Now we've added some more rules, or rather properties, to the system now. So here, you can see here at the bottom, we have now unrestricted use switch, an outsourcing switch, and the system properties. You can add different system properties. Let me explain the easier one first. Outsourcing switch. Before, there was no way for yourselves to add this system as an available partner to attach to a ticket. So by going to the system and simply selecting outsourcing and saving it, you'll now see this partner is now available to choose from the list here. So you can set your external systems as available partners to assign tickets to by yourselves without need of Fieldcode support. The other switch, unrestricted use, enable the system to use with any ticket object independent of the ticket's outsourcing status. What does that mean? That means that this system by itself, without the switch enabled, can only work with one system. I believe the idea behind this is to have an unrestricted use. If you have an unrestricted system, it could be maybe a system leading to a parts management system. And this parts management system could be used for multiple projects throughout your account. You don't need it locked in only to one project or one ticket or whatever. So by using this, you can then use this system throughout the application as you need to, without it being limited or restricted. You'll find more information in our manual about these. System properties, if you add system properties, this is just a way to add properties for when you're setting up your outgoing mapping. This is good for when you want to set passwords. If you have passwords and you want to hide the value of it, you can do that by checking this box here, and there's no way to undo this as you add it. If you create a new one, this is automatically unchecked. So if you're setting other properties with other values, you don't need it hidden, you don't need to hide it. But this is very useful for sensitive information or password saving within your system. It's a very good property to have. All right, Fieldcode Plus. We now, in the last release, we introduced creating tickets from a custom object, which are allowed to create a ticket. So from this custom object, I can create a ticket from it. We now have the opposite in place now. So now I can, this one here. So now I have this, my workflow set up to where now I can have a create asset. So if I hit this button, I can create an asset that will assign an asset, create a custom object and assign it under my assets. It can be any custom object. In this case, I'm just creating an asset here. This is also a workflow button, very easy to set up. All right, not a very big release. That's the gist of the release for April. Thank you very much.